Hi, everybody. Welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco. I do a Song of Ice and Fire lore vids here, and we're covering a really sad one. This one, this isn't a upbeat, heart lifting one. We're covering Falyse Stokewoth. So yeah. I cover characters from the Song of Ice and Fire lore. Those are those Game of Thrones books, all those books and pages and words. And I do these just in one big long take. I've covered so many characters. Go check them out. It's got to be up to 50-something characters by now, right? Close. Go check all those out. If you've never been here before, subscribe if you like it, if you like it. If you don't like it, well, don't like or subscribe. I don't want you to know. But if you enjoy it, stick around. Let's hang out. So yeah, let's get into Falyse Stokeworth. So if you don't like kind of rougher stories, this isn't the roughest story I've covered, but it doesn't have a happy ending. And if you've been having a bad day, probably don't want to listen to this one. Just click mute and let it play all the way through. I'm kidding. All right, let's get into the Falyse Stokeworth. Lady Falyse Stokeworth is the heir of Tanda Stokeworth. She has been married to Sir Bolman Birch. Bolman. His first name's Bolman. All right. Good old Bolman. He's a ball man. All right. Bolman Birch for 10 years. But they remain childless because he's a ball man. It is rumored that her husband shuns her bed for maidens. That's gross. Maidens? Come on, man. All right. Felice has an acid tongue. Ooh. Cersei Lannister thinks to herself that Felice not only looks like a fish, but also drinks like a fish. She is fond of hippocrates, which is a type of drink. Acid tongue and fist features. Is this proof that Falyse Stokeworth is Port Squisher? No. No, probably not. She is from the Crownlands, and that's where we hear Nimble Dick's story about the Squishers. So, is Falyse Stokeworth a squisher? Probably not. Maybe. Who knows? Get on that, somebody. All right, cool. All right, House Stokeworth. House Stokeworth is a noble house from the Crownlands, which I already said, sworn directly to King's Landing. They live in a nearby castle, Castle Stokeworth, north of the capital. They blazon their arms with a white lamb holding a golden goblet on a green field. Their motto is proud to be faithful. All right. They're cute. I like the little cute lamb with the cup. It's adorable little house. Horrible luck to this house. They don't have a good story in the main story. But yeah, let's jump right into it. Red Keep during the war. So yeah, we're jumping right into the War of the Five Kings. So yeah, Felice remains at the court of King Joffrey after the beginning of the hostilities with the North. She attends the tourney for King Joffrey's 13th name day with her mother, Lady Tanda, and her sister, Lollies. So let's kind of break down their family a little bit. So Tanda is in charge, and she's a really old lady, and she's kind of a cantankerous old lady. And then you got Falyse Stokeworth, and then Lolly Stokeworth is the youngest sister. And throughout the first two books, Falyse isn't really part of this, so that's why I didn't have it written. But Tanda's like trying to get somebody to marry Lolly Stokeworth, the youngest sister, a bunch. So like throughout the whole first book, like Peter Baelish just keeps getting free meals because he's like, oh, I'm letting Tanda feed me thinking that I'm going to marry Lollies. I'm not, but, I'm letting her think that, so I keep getting the free food. So, and then I think they even ask, like, Tyrion at one point. Yeah. We'll find out who she eventually marries. Lollies has also a kind of sad story. All right. So she's at court. So during the riots of King's Landing, Lolly Stokeworth, the youngest sister, so not Falyse, who we're talking about, is knocked from her saddle as the royal party returns to the Red Keep. The Gold Cloaks later find her wandering naked on Sow-Belly Row after having been assaulted. I'm using the word assaulted. You know what word I'm covering? I'm not going to use it. But not on YouTube, but yeah, she was assaulted. All right, assaulted by 100 men behind a tanner's shop. Horrible, awful. Lolly's is traumatized by the event, clearly, and becomes afraid to leave her chambers, and I don't blame her. That's a really traumatizing, awful thing that happened to her. And it was just because the gold cloaks and the white cloaks and everyone else kind of had to worry about getting, because it was when Marcella Baratheon was getting shipped off to Dorne, and as they were coming back, the riot kind of happened. So it was like, all right, everybody, get Joffrey back, get Cersei, everybody, let's get all the important people into the castle. And then somebody's like, what happened to Sansa? And then the Hound goes and gets her, and then they're like, what happened to Lollies? You don't see Lollies? It's horrible. All right. So Falyse arrives in King's Landing with a small troop of soldiers the day before the Battle of the Blackwater. She stays in Maegor's holdfast during the battle with her sister and mother. A lot of people stay in the holdfast during the battle, and that's kind of where we get Sansa's point of view. During the Battle of the Blackwaters, everyone just hanging out in Maegor's holdfast. So let's keep on going. The bastard baby of Stokeworth, struggling to find a match for her younger sister because Lolly's is no longer a maiden. Tanda has to lower her standards, and she eventually asks Bronn of the Blackwater to marry Lolly Stokeworth, and he agrees to wed her. So, yeah, Bronn, good old Bronn. Yeah, that Bronn. The Bronn you're thinking of. The Tyrion's Bronn. And that's what we find that out when they're trying to get he has Bronn to fight the Mountain for the trial of combat, and Bronn's like, yeah, screw that, I'm gonna marry some chick and get a castle. It's like, what? So yeah, good old Bronn. Felice attends the funeral of Lord Tywin. We're moving fast. Lord Tywin Lannister with her husband, good old Balman Birch, and she mentions that her sister is ready to give birth, and the family would like to name the child Tywin, because, Tywin Lannister. Cersei is offended and abruptly forgives her. It's like, yeah, that's a bastard of 100 people. No. That's awful. I would say name your kid whatever you want. But, Cersei's like, don't honor my dad by naming him that. So yeah. Where was I? Cersei's offended. Yep. They are not in King's Landing for the wedding of King Tommen to Marjorie Tyrell. So they missed that. After the birth of Lolly's bastard son, Queen Regent Cersei Lannister believes Bronn to be a traitor because he names the child Tyrion. So Bronn sneaks in, marries Lolly Stokeworth, and then when the bastard son is being born, and he's like, name him Tyrion. And they're like, all right. And of course, Cersei's like, treason! That's treason! That's pretty funny, though. Good old Tyrion Tanner. I like Tyrion Tanner. He's just a little baby, so I can't do a video on Tyrion Tanner. But yeah, fantastic. All right, so Cersei's plots. So this, of course, is going to start getting Cersei a-plotting. Cersei has dinner with Falyse after she returns to King's Landing. During the dinner, it is revealed that Tanda Stokeworth has been thrown from her horse, and fractured her hip. And Cersei thinks to herself that Tanda will not recover from the wounds at her age. Yeah. So old lady Tanda, so Falyse Stokeworth, who I know we haven't been talking too much about, but she's, we're talking a little more about Lollies and more about Tanda. But we'll talk about Falyse eventually. So Tanda, the old lady, gets thrown by her horse, breaks her hip, and since she's already old and frail, it's like, I don't think she'll last. Like, that's awful. So, where was I? So Falyse says that she was refused hospitality by the ward of Lord Giles Rosby, and that she encountered ruffians, who are likely sparrows, on the road. Cersei deftly convinces Falyse and Ballman that she fears Bronn is either hiding Tyrion or gathering swords for him and may mean to try to kill Tommen. Yeah. So she is so angry about little Tyrion Tanner that she's like, he's probably is with Tyrion. Tyrion's either there or they're still in contact, and Tyrion's working with Bronn to try to murder Tommen. Now, this isn't a Cersei video, but it could be that she just is mad that he named him Tyrion, that she just wants, like, no, screw that. Screw him. I hate Bronn. Get Bronn out of here. But as Kevin says later on, Kavan, good old Kavan Lannister says later on, that she sees Tyrion in every one of her shadows because she hates Tyrion because of the good old Valonqar prophecy. Prophecy will bite your prick off every time, right? And so she is haunted by Tyrion. So we don't know if it's her weird paranoia or is she just pissed off at Bronn. It's one of them or both. It's probably both. All right. So she convinces good old Ballman and Felice that Tyrion's, working with him. And they assure her that it was solely Bronn's responsibility for naming Lolly's bastard son Tyrion. But Ballman gets the hint that Cersei would like to see the Excelsword disposed of and tells her not to worry any further. She's like, I don't like him. And good old Ballman's like, I got you. I'm winking. See that I'm winking? I got you. Too bad Ballman's an idiot. So, Lord Stokeworth. The plan backfires when good old Ballman challenges Sir Bronn to single combat. Why would you ever challenge Bronn to the Blackwater at the single freaking combat? Are you an idiot? You're an idiot, aren't you? Are you an idiot, Ballman? I think you are. And Bronn kills Ballman in a unchivalrous manner. Of course, he didn't fight chivalrously. He wins. Bronn hits Falyse, just walks up, smacks her, and orders her gone. Get out of here. When Falyse tells her mother's guards to arrest Bronn, they laugh and tell her to listen to Lord Stokeworth. So Bronn already has the castle. So good old Ballman's like, get out of here. And he's like, no. And he's like, I challenge you to single combat. And Bronn's like, all right, cool. And kills him. And then he walks to the Falyse and he's like, get. And she walks up to the guards and she's like, arrest him. And they're like, nah, that's kind of who we listen to. We're kind of Bronn's guys. That's Lord Stokeworth. And she's like, Lord Stokeworth? Yeah, that's Lord Stokeworth. Get out of here. Who are you? She returns to King's Landing, summoning Cersei out of bed with good old hot Tana Merryweather. Yeah. She's getting her bed warmed by Tana Merryweather when she gets interrupted to talk to Felice. So she's probably in a bad mood. She's like, hey, I was busy. So Cersei finds the woman battered because Bronn slapped her up and listens to her tale of her husband's death. She starts pleading with Cersei to give her men to retake the castle. See if that's going to work. Cersei, the Black Cells. Cersei, fearing that the failure of the plot would undermine her position, summons Lord Qyburn so that he could take another female subject to his lab in the Black Cells. Yeesh! Cersei tells him that Falyse should never see the light of day again. So she's like, hey, go kill Bronn. And good old Ballman dies. And then she comes back like, oh, we just did this for you. Can you get rid of these people? And she's like, Qyburn, you want to do experiments on her until she dies? That's so wretched. Poor Falyse Stokeworth. And we're going to get into a little bit more details, but she didn't deserve any of that. Like, she is just doing her thing. She's just some weird fish-looking lady. And she has the Innsmouth look. That's a Lovecraft reference. And, then Cersei just messes with her life. And at the end of the day, she's like, Qyburn, You wanna take care of this one? So, yeah, Cersei tells him that she should never see the light of day. Sometime later, after waking up from a nightmare, Cersei contemplates sending Felice back to Castle Stokeworth to reclaim it from Bronn. So then she eventually goes, yeah, we should do that. We should send Felice back. So Qyburn tells her that she's not even able to feed herself, much less rule. That just gives me the chills. Felice dies screaming in the black cells due to Qyburn's torture and experiments. Yeesh. That's a sad ending, man. Good old Falyse Stokewoth. She just gets played like a fiddle, and then Qyburn uses her up, whatever that means, and he's like, she can't even feed herself. We can't, she's all messed up. And then she dies a horrible death. That's really sad. I'm sad. Oh, man. So I wanted to cover some King's Landing people this week. So I got covering her today, and then later on in the week is Giles Rosby. And I usually do, if I find any cool symbolism, besides the fact that she's definitely a squisher, if there's any symbolism or fan theories. But the only fan theory I could find that she is remotely close to is who the ward of Rosby is. And I'm covering that later this week when I'm covering Giles Rosby. So there isn't really much. So that's why I'm just kind of ending it with her story. I don't really have too much past that. But that was kind of heavy enough, wasn't it? It was pretty heavy. Ugh. So thanks for watching. Sorry about my coughing. It's been a long day. And you guys, you have a good one. If you want to watch more, go check out all my stuff. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I'm going to keep cranking out a Song of Ice and Fire lore vids like twice a week. So have a good one, and do not challenge Bronn to single combat. What a ballman.